Hey guys, looking to buy your first property but have no idea where to start? One of the most common mistakes that I see for first-time buyers is finding out what the maximum purchase price would be and then hitting that number into Rightmove, looking at properties in random areas that they have no interest in living in, and they spend hours and hours and hours and feel totally deflated by the end of it. So what's the best approach? In my opinion, it's working out really and truly what is the most important thing for you. So that's going to be different for everyone, and I want you to go through this exercise with me, add them into the comments below if you feel comfortable, or grab yourself a pen and paper. I want you to list out all of the important things in your life that you travel to. So that could be work, family, friends, airports, social areas. You might like going to a park or a beach, whatever it may be, write them down in an order. I then want you to write down the specific location of each, so the address. From there, we're going to add a time next to them, and the time's going to reflect the maximum amount of time you're willing to travel to go to that location. So for work, you may be traveling once a week, so you might say, I'm happy to travel an hour and a half. Equally, if you're in 5 days a week, you might say, I'm not traveling more than 40 minutes each way, no way. So write them down and write them in that order. An example here, I obviously haven't got the addresses, but write the addresses down as well. From here, you're going to visit traveltime.com. I'll put that link in the comments, and you're going to enter each of the specific addresses with the mode of transport you're willing to take, plus the maximum amount of time you're willing to take to get to each of those locations. What this is going to do is it's going to give you a map, and where the maps and the areas identified all overlap, that's now going to be your target location. So you went from looking at a whole city to a very specific area of that city. Depending on how many variables you put in, you're going to end up with different size areas. Within that area, you're going to pick out 5, 10, 15 areas that you could see yourself living in. We've now managed to whittle down a whole city to a much smaller area and a few specific areas within that. From here, one of the most important things that you can ever do is to go and walk around those areas. It's a great way to spend your weekend. Go out on a Saturday morning for a coffee with your partner, with your friend, whoever it's going to be, and just get a feel for the place. Now you've realized that you definitely do not want to live in some of these areas, and others you think, yeah, maybe. From here, you take your top 5, you take your top 10, whatever it may be, and you go to Rightmove, to Zoopla, and you start to create specific tailored alerts. I'll cover those in another video, so hit follow if you'd like to learn more about that. The next question I want you to ask yourself is, do I want to live in a flat or a house, or do I not mind? There are pros and cons to both, which I'll cover in other videos, but this is super important and helps you narrow down your search. The same question can apply to a leasehold or a freehold. So again, super important. If you have a preference, now is the time to consider that. The next question is more specific. It's whether you want to live alone or whether you'd like to actually have lodgers or a partner come and live with you. The same would apply for home offices, etc. So you'd need to work out how many rooms you would absolutely need in your house. At the start of this process, you may have been looking at an entire city and feeling quite lost. Now you've walked through this process, you'll have whittled your search area down to a set few locations which you're happy about. You'll know exactly whether you want a house or a flat, whether you want a freehold or a leasehold, and the number of rooms that you'd like. From here, it's all about setting up those alerts. So you go to Rightmove, you go to Zoopla, and you set very specific alerts with all of your criteria, plus any additionals you might have, like being within 1/4 mile of a station, or having a garden, or maybe even parking. I'll do another video on exactly how to do those searches and set up those alerts, but at least now you've got a very specific criteria of what you're looking for, and that can really allow you to hone in and go and talk to estate agents or look online. I'm going to be putting all of these questions and this process and the whole buying process in general into Brick by Brick Ventures, but it's going to take me a bit of time. So for the time being, I'm going to post as much content here as possible. So please, if you've got any questions, do send them through, add them to the comments. It all helps with the algorithm and makes this worthwhile. Thank you.